And we are live. Not live, but recording. Episode 7.
The elusive
number 7. This is the one. This was our goal.
This was our goal.
I don't know what it was. We read somewhere that most podcasts don't reach or don't pass episode 7.
Either don't make it to 7 or
don't
they
make
get past
it or don't make it. Yeah.
Well, we haven't really made it.
We haven't made it at all.
No, we're just. This is going to be another hour of
nonsense.
Amateur hour because Derek and I don't have our shit together.
As usual.
Just the last two have been kind of ad hoc off the top of our heads.
Like we were just discussing this right before we hit record there, how it's kind of hard to have this like work-life balance. Well, like to even carve out the hour that we need to. Yeah. Because we would have recorded 2 days ago.
Yeah, we were recording yesterday.
Yeah, and then we were going to record yesterday.
But I had to work because I had to switch some shit around, and then last week you had something.
Yeah.
So this week and last week we're recording right now on a Tuesday, even though we should be
done and posted
about 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
3-4 hours ago. So we're a day behind. And I left the door open. Hold on.
Left the door open. What kind of rinky-dink kind of situation do we have here? Very. That's it. Yeah. Even though we are in a high-tech spaceship.
We are in a high-tech spaceship
right now.
I left.
He did leave the door open. He left the hatch open to space.
Yeah.
And the air was evacuating. I was wondering why I got so cold.
And then as I looked outside, I just saw a flat Earth. I mean, what?
Wait a minute. Did you just bring that up?
Flat Earth?
Flat Earthers? Those psychopaths. Have you ever gone down that YouTube rabbit hole of flat earthers?
You know what? Out of all the questions I have in my mind, I have not bothered to occupy my time to see if the fucking Earth is flat or not.
But you believe it's round?
Yes.
Your eyebrow raised when you said that, and you inflected at the end of. You were like, "Yes?" Question mark.
As opposed to flat.
Hell yeah.
Well, if it was flat, cats would have pushed everything off the edge by now.
That's true. Fucking cats. I hate cats.
I don't fucking like cats.
Cats are assholes.
They're just dicks. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, amateur
flat
hour.
Earthers, amateur hour, flat earthers. You left the hatch open.
Okay, so here's a story about flat Earth. I had a conversation with somebody who believes the Earth is flat.
Do I know this person? I hope not.
You don't.
I will go off on them.
Ape shit? Yeah. So, in the middle of this conversation, I think I told you partially the story. I just don't want to say who it is, at least on air. This person was telling me about how they watched a YouTube video, because that's a very credible source of information. Yeah. Anyway, where this person used trigonometry to give evidence using math, if you don't know what trig is, on how the Earth is flat. So I watched a portion of said video, and this person's trigonometry was all kinds of fucked up. Mm-hmm. Now that is bad, because I passed math with a 56. My trigonometry is bad. My trigonometry is terrible.
I failed math 3 times.
Okay, so you and I are the right people.
And I could still understand the maths that... So, yeah.
If I catch your math mistake, there's a problem. There's a big problem. So if I call bullshit on your shitty YouTube trigonometry, you're all kinds of fucked up, buddy. Yeah. You're all kinds of fucked up. Therefore, I have no need to partake in any of that activity, because I don't call it investigation. It's just an activity. I can't take that seriously. I really can't. Like I'm having even a hard time right now describing what to even say about it, because I just don't.
So the thing is,
don't comprehend it.
No, the thing is, they don't comprehend it. That's the real problem. So you know what? A lot of times their maths are correct, but they're not taking other things into account, like refracting of light and curvature and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, so there's always something that's left out, and maybe they even do it on purpose to suit their needs, to make it seem look, this is...
You want a certain you want a certain value to come out at the end of that equation, so you fix the equation to give you that value, which is not how math should work. Is you put in the proper values, which gives you the correct equation.
And make sure to have all the variables
correct. You should have the proper variables, which will give you a correct number.
Yeah,
you don't fix your number first.
So they don't do that. If you watch the video, there's a great YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Simon Dan. And all he does is debunk flat Earth videos. So he'll take their video where they're
what a hobby.
It's amazing, dude. His channel, I think this is probably what he does full time now because his channel has grown exponentially.
Can you imagine saying, what do you do for a living? I make YouTube videos that debunk flat Earthers.
It's amazing.
There's
so there's enough of them out there producing enough videos that this guy's
got a full-time job.
Has a full-time job debunking their fucking videos.
That is whack.
So, so his name is Simon Dan, Science Man Dan, right? So he gives the proper science behind things,
right?
And he'll tell you what they're doing wrong in their calculations and stuff like that,
right?
So it's amazing. So I don't know how these flat earthers don't, and the funny thing is, the flat earthers will then review his video of him reviewing their video.
Oh, shit.
So I'm thinking, but if he just explained everything correctly to you, like in the proper ways and all the variables were accounted for and stuff like that, how does it still not change your mind? It doesn't make sense to me.
Because he doesn't fit their narrative. Like the narrative is set. Yeah. The narrative is set. And this is something that I'm seeing. This is something that I'm seeing extensively in this day and age, that people just have their narratives and that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's a terrible way to live. I change my mind on things all the time. If you know me, you know that I'm actually quite indecisive because I'm always adjusting my variables and therefore come with different conclusions.
Yeah, every time there's new information, you got to reassess.
Correct. If the information is large enough, it could actually provide a total different outcome. But as long as you're willing to accept that there could be different information, there could be something that you could learn, use, and employ, which might change A, B, C, and D. But you have to be willing to let go of your pre-existing narrative, whatever that might be. I find that doesn't exist to the degree that it should.
No. And with the thing is with these flat earthers, because let's say there's something that disrupts their idea. So they're saying the earth is flat. The only way the earth could be flat, according to them, now, like, that means there can't be gravity.
I've been told that. I've been told that before. There's no such thing as gravity.
Yeah, so they have to keep extrapolating out
gravity.
They'll keep extrapolating in order to make their idea fit. So they say there's a flat earth, and then people will say, okay, but then how do you explain gravity? Gravity is what pulls the earth into the shape of a sphere, right? So then they go, oh shit, okay, so then that means gravity doesn't exist. So now flat earthers don't believe in gravity. Because if there was gravity, the earth would be a ball.
Right.
But they say it's flat, so therefore there's no gravity.
Which makes zero sense from a simple physics perspective.
Yep.
F equals ma. Force equals mass times acceleration. That is the bread and butter of physics. Force equals mass times acceleration. Now, as far as mass is, I shouldn't say that gravity is relative to the planet that you're standing on. On Earth, it's 9.2 meters per second squared. It's acceleration. So you take that, you multiply by the mass, not weight, which gives you a force. I am standing on this floor. I have a force on this floor. There's a force pulling me down into it, and that is gravity. Now the floor is holding me up. That is the normal force. That's basic applied mechanics. That is literally applied mechanics.
Yeah.
Like I learned that, I think that was semester 2, year 1 in college engineering. Applied mechanics. F equals ma. And you use, like, from an engineering perspective, because that's what I've trained on academically, is everything. Forces, vectors, and forces. And the constant, it is literally called a constant, is gravity.
Yeah. Do you want to know what they believe?
Oh, fuck. Send it. Tell me.
That
Educate
there
me.
is no gravity. Things fall because they're heavy.
My next point would be, well, would they fall at the same rate if they were another planet? But if you're talking about other planets, are they round too? Or are they flat too? I don't know. Well, Jupiter's made of gas. Is it fucking flat? But we don't know that it's made of gas. We don't know.
It is.
We don't know that.
Jupiter?
We don't know that.
No, it is. It's a gas giant.
I'm just playing
But
devil's
at the
advocate.
very
I
center-
do know that it's made of gas, people.
Okay.
Derek got excited there.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. So the actual very center of Jupiter isn't solid. It's kind of like a non-Newtonian fluid,
Correct.
which is kind of
Which is
interesting.
somewhere between a liquid, a solid, and a gas.
Or
correct.
liquid and solid.
Liquid and solid?
Yeah, like when you did that cornstarch and water experiment as a kid, where if you mix the proper amount of cornstarch and water together, and if you were to jab it hard with your finger, it would be solid. But then if you were to gently push it into the cornstarch water mixture, it would sink into it. So that's what this very center of Jupiter is. It's some sort of non-Newtonian
And
fluid.
the reason for that is the gravity is acting on the mass of the gases, pulling them towards the center. And because of its size, it has a very large mass. Sorry, it has a very large gravity due to its mass.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing too. I've had people that I know of that even have been like, oh, how do you explain gravity? How do you explain what's gravity? Gravity is just theory, whatever. How do you explain gravity? I'm like, gravity is the distortion of space-time due to the mass of an object.
I just dropped my pen on the table. There was gravity right there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're simple, feeble-minded creatures and our tiny ape brains can't wrap our mind around that thought. But I wonder why it's easier for some people to comprehend and not others.
Television or the lack thereof. I blame TV. I blame MTV.
Goddamn MTV.
It's people don't consider the sciences to the same degree that you used to. Like, think about it. Even from an engineering perspective, right now, if you're an engineer, most of the design is done by machine. Like it's either some sort of 3D CAD software, which you can get 3D CAD software, SolidWorks does it, that will do your stress calculations for you. As long as you give it the correct variables, it will do all your calculations for you. You could design an entire car and break it virtually, and it will tell you it's usually correct. It's not the real world where things are slightly different, but it will give you your calculations for you. It will do all of your legwork for you. Back in the day, that wasn't a thing. You were an engineer because you were a human calculator.
Exactly.
And you had to train to be a human calculator. And the reason why people paid you to put a stamp on it is because you did the calculations. So it was a whole training of not just the 6 years in post-secondary, in post-secondary and college and universities. It was all the training from high school and grade school in the maths and the sciences from all the way there that made you an academic in engineering leading up to it. I don't think that's pushed anywhere near as hard these days because you simply don't have to. I don't know. I'm not overly familiar with the academic system, but it seems like it's very different from what it used to be.
I'm wondering if that's something that has to be instilled when they're younger, like
science
in school. Like,
well, science. Remember what science is. Science is a reasoning. Science is a method, and it's a method that you use to prove and disprove things. And science takes time, and science will eat. How can I say this effectively? Science will eat what it considers true and untrue equally. Like if you were to put a paper right now and you did all your dues, and yet me as a peer, I can't replicate your experiment, and neither can the other peer,
then
your experiment's garbage.
Yeah, it can't be said as truth. Yeah. Yeah, it has to be replicated.
Right. And that's why this whole COVID mess is people say, well, we're going back and forth here, this, that, the other. That was true. This is proven false. Now this is true. To some degree, this is a huge political game. It is. Tell me otherwise. But at the same time, we've been in this for 6 months. Do you know how long it takes to get a single fucking paper reviewed?
Yeah.
One paper.
That's the thing, too.
Years.
Yeah, people don't understand that. We're still learning about this. We're still learning how to react to this. We're still learning how to set forth like all the necessary provisions and stuff like that. So, and the thing is, too, is all the falsities that got put online that people will read and take as gospel or Bible.
Yep.
They'll see like an Instagram post and be like, oh, this Instagram post says that the masks are bad for you, so the plastic shield is the best bet because it's safer for you.
Or masks.
In what way, though, is it safer?
Or masks don't work at all. Or now they do work.
Because I've had people say that, like they're wearing just the plastic shield. And they're like, oh, they say it's safer for you. It's better than the mask. I'm like, and I want to ask them, in what way?
Like, who says? Where did they say it from? What was their study? Like, and you can go into the nitty gritty of what were their parameters that they tested this under. How many? Has it been replicated? Has it been replicated effectively?
Yeah.
Has it been replicated in different countries?
But also,
comparably,
just the common sense in it. If you have a mask that covers your mouth and nose, and then you have a plastic shield that sits 3 or 4 inches from your face, and your mouth and nose is still open, which of the two is better for you from protecting you from the coronavirus?
Both intake and input and output. I would say the mask. Substantially.
People will argue that the face shield is better for you and safer for you.
And so let's apply science to that. Argue it effectively using which data set?
But the thing is too, I just want to take it down to the nitty gritty and be like, your face is still out in the open air.
So if you had common sense, you would
stopping
see that, right?
Anything. When you take a breath in, guess what? You're inhaling the air that's still in front of the face shield.
Yep.
It's doing nothing for you.
Yep.
But because a person said, they said,
I do not think as a society we are scientifically literate.
Definitely not. No, because the more complicated it is, the less they're going to comprehend it, the less they're not going to believe in it.
Yep. And nothing is simple.
Nothing is as simple.
Nothing is simple. Too. Everything is complex. Everything is complex. One single scientific paper is not one page. The first page might be the abstract, but look at the whole thing. Then extrapolate the data out of it. That's one study. It could be small, it could be large, could be 30 years in the making, could be 3 weeks in the making. Everything is complicated, and to believe that things are simple, I don't buy that. And I don't buy that.
No, and the thing is too is because they can't understand it, that means it's not true. Which
false.
Blows my mind.
False.
Oh, totally false. But it blows my mind that that's what they resort to. Just because, I don't understand it, it doesn't make sense to me, it's not true. So because you can't comprehend it, means it's not true.
Favorite line from The Matrix. Hold on, let me get this right. Your cooperation is not a prerequisite for your No, I fucked that up. Damn it. I'm overthinking.
Is it when Agent Smith is talking to Neo in the interrogation room?
Nope.
Is it when Morpheus is
no?
Is it when the Oracle is speaking with Neo on the bench?
No.
Okay, damn it. Shit. Okay. What scene was that?
Your cooperation is not a prerequisite. Your comprehension is not a prerequisite to your cooperation. Whew. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that you have to balk at it. At the same time, question everything. That's what science is. I love science. Science questions everything.
Definitely question everything. And then, but at least do your research on it.
And do it
continue
properly.
Learning about it. You know what I mean? Like, do the due diligence. Don't just like oh, I don't believe in that, throw it under the rug. Like, why don't you actually do the research and look into it?
Yes. Not one source.
No, definitely not one source.
Not two.
Most people would just go to
three.
Instagram and be like, that's not what that said.
Oh, yeah, because that's great. That's what could be more wrong than looking at recycled content.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a successful game of broken telephone?
No.
Why the fuck do you think it would work on social media?
And that's even worse because then now everyone else's opinions gets in there and dilutes the original message.
Okay, so let's hit that. The original message. Look at any video you've seen about any situation in the last 2 months. You're watching a 30-second, a minute, a 2-minute clip of a particular event. You don't know what led up to it. You really don't. You don't know the background. All you see is that little frame. Literally, it's a frame. It's a shot of time and space, and you don't see what happened after it. But that 2 minutes, or 30 seconds, or 10 seconds, or that single picture somehow equates, how can I say this effectively again, equates to a certain reaction, but you don't know how, you shouldn't react to that because you don't know what to react to that because you don't know the story. Whatever that might be, we live in a time where it's just a clip. We just look at clips, and things on media move if they're controversial. They don't have to be good. They just have to be controversial. Controversial is what gets you the views. Apart from your fat ass and tits jumping out of your shirt. But apart from that, if it's controversial, it'll move. So it doesn't have to be good. It just has to get people feisty. But you don't know what happened before. Yeah. You don't know what happened after. So why are you reacting like this? Does that make sense?
Definitely. I think that's how the media is run anyways. They run by reactions. That's all they want to incite from you is a reaction. The truth doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the truth is. They just want to incite the reaction.
It's a sad though. It shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't because...
It's because people are bored. People have short attention spans. That's as much information as they need to run on to have that emotional reaction.
Did you
There's
watch?
No thought to it.
Okay, so let's build on that.
Yeah.
Did you watch that podcast I sent you the other day with Joe Rogan 1504?
No, not yet.
Oh, buddy, that's a hitter. So, Alan, fuck, I don't want to get this dude's name wrong. Let me pull up my phone or just pull up. What was the last text I sent you?
Alan, I don't have that conversation anymore.
Oh man, I want to get this dude's name right because he definitely knocked that one out of the park. Stand by, people. Stand by. I don't know. Alan Levinovitz. Thank you. This dude, you'll see it if you watch it, Derek. This dude said that current media is equal to processed food. So you and I talk about food all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So you're definitely not a fan of processed food. You've been chirping me for eating processed food. Well, you haven't lately. But
my body doesn't recognize that as food anymore.
Correct. Perfect. Okay. But you know what processed food is. You know that if you take what started as nutritious and close to natural has been removed and is now something that is very palatable, but you know it's not good for you. Like you know that processed food is not good for you. Everybody knows that processed food is not good for you. But it's palatable, it's quick, it'll get you that fix. It'll work in a pinch. That's what the news has become. That's what social media has become. Yeah. It is processed information. It used to be good at the beginning, but now that it's gone through the pipework, it's now exited as
not as
garbage.
Yeah.
It's garbage. People know that it's garbage, but you love to eat garbage in the same way that you love to consume this bullshit.
It's like a real life soap opera. I think that's what it is. It's not news. It's just telenovela. It's just like these stories that people want to.
Yeah, but it puts people.
It almost doesn't seem real. Like you watch this shit happening on the news, and you're just like, it doesn't.
Would you watch the news to inform yourself, or do you watch?
I don't watch the news anymore because of that.
I watch the news, but I don't watch the news to formulate. How can I say this? I don't watch the news to form an opinion. Like I have a exterior opinion, and then I watch the news to see what everybody else is watching. But I don't use it as a primary source of information because it's processed. It's processed and it's filtered. But where do you go to find unprocessed and unfiltered? And yeah, everybody's got a slight bias to it. Shit, you and I have a slight bias in our own ways. It's just human nature to be slightly something. But at the same time, it's like, what are you after? Are you after a reaction or are you after
Truth.
truth?
No one wants the truth. Truth doesn't sell. Truth's not interesting.
Like if you and I said something right now, right here, that was considered controversial, or we just made allegations.
Oh, you want controversial?
No, I don't want controversial.
Here we go. Ready? I'm gonna lay the smack down.
Oh God.
I like pineapple on my pizza.
Fuck you, buddy. I'm kidding. Okay, give me your why, Derek.
Because I like pineapple. I also like pizza.
Yeah,
so
but I love
put the
pizza
pineapple
too, bro.
on the pizza.
Why do you got to put it on that?
It's so good. It gets like all sweet and caramelized.
Okay, so
The
you have
pineapple
this.
does.
You have pizza,
Yeah.
which is a combination of perfectly mixed textures. Then you have pineapple, which is a weird ass, fibery, slimy, chewy, chunky.
I don't know where you're getting your pineapple. That's slimy and chewy, chunky, but
That's what if.
like pineapple is probably one of my top 5 favorite fruits.
Really?
Yeah,
I can't stand
no
that.
top 5.
Avocado.
Avocado is a fruit. I'm glad you said that.
I won't
Most
eat-
people think it's a vegetable. I love avocados. I eat avocados every day.
I bought spinach today.
Congratulations, my friend. You just opened the door to
Iron.
like iron and zinc.
Even though I had a steak today too.
That's fine.
There's my iron for
Steak's
the day.
good.
It's the first time I cooked a steak, Derek. I'll have you know that, buddy.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram post there of the food you cook. Looked pretty good.
I'm getting the hang of it, buddy.
And like it actually looked really good.
Yep.
Whatever that was on the barbecue there.
It's prepped. It is going to be this week's meals.
You know what I made for dinner, bro?
What'd you make?
I made a green bean tofu stir fry. Over top a kale and couscous salad.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's delicious. That's what that is, sir.
I can't get behind that. You know that.
I bet Cass, if you hear this, that was a delicious dinner.
You and your quinoa pasta, some witchcraft bullshit. I can't deal with that.
That
Oh
was
man.
pretty good.
Okay, Derek. What are we hitting next?
Fuck these flat earthers though. Like I still can't get over it. Like I honestly, the best part is when they try to do these experiments, and I'm doing air quotes. They try to do these experiments to prove that the Earth is flat, and then every experiment that they do proves that the Earth has a curve, which is a fucking amazing. And then when that happens, they'll make an excuse for it.
Right.
They'll be like, "Oh, it's the refraction of the light," or
Explain to me refraction.
something. Like they always make an excuse, even when it's the simplest things. Like they'll do ones that are like high tech with lasers and shit. But even if it's something as simple as there's a 15-story building across the lake. At a certain point, because of the curvature of the Earth, the bottom of the building is going to start disappearing over the curvature.
Correct.
Okay? So it'll be 15 stories, but because of where you're standing, because of how far away you are, the curve is going to cut off a certain amount of floors of the building.
Correct.
So it's
Like ships
you're gonna-
disappearing
you're
in the
gonna-
horizon.
Yeah, you're going to look at it and it's going to look like it's only 13 floors
Right.
because the rest of it is below the horizon.
Basic trigonometry.
Like things like that, and they'll make an excuse for it. Oh, it's the refraction of the light, or it's the heat coming off the whatever. Like they make excuses. There was a group of normal people, I'd like to say, the ones that believe the Earth is a globe, a sphere, they did a very simple one too, where they took this big banner that had horizontal stripes on it. So white, black, white, black, white, black. They had it on a boat. And they started motorboating their way down across the lake.
Boating the way through space.
And the flat earthers were there to watch because they're like, oh, yeah, we're still going to count all the lines. All the lines are still going to be visible. But lo and behold, the further away they got into the lake, 2 of the bars disappeared on the bottom of the thing they had set up there. So they asked the flat earthers that were there, so what do you think about that? And they literally said, oh, it's the refraction of the light. Obviously, like that's a failed experiment because it's just the refraction of the light. Okay, go into detail about why the refraction of the light is making the 2 bottom bars disappear.
Don't dismiss it, dissect it.
Yeah. And they say like what you just said, the ship disappearing over the horizon. They're like, how come the naked eye sees the ship disappear over the horizon, but if I get my P900 Canon camera, I can zoom in and it brings the ship back into focus? No, it doesn't, because when you see the photos that they take of the ship, the bottom half of the ship is missing. You know, you only see the top half of the ship, or you only see the deck and the stacks. So things are still missing off the boat, and they're still not believing in it. It honestly blows my mind. I can't.
They're
doing the experiments themselves, and they still will make an excuse, and
we don't have scientific literacy. We don't, dude.
But you know what? To a certain extent, neither do I. But when I read the information, it makes sense to me.
Right?
Like how gravity is pulling in all directions at once, and that's why everything, like the Earth, is a sphere.
Right. Well, you have a force of gravity that you're exerting on things around you, but you don't have much mass. Therefore, things aren't gravitated towards you.
Yeah.
But you're providing a very weak force of
exactly.
And so am I, and so is everything else in this room. But it's not
negated,
massive enough. To actually pull anything to it.
Yeah.
But it does have a force. Now, the Earth itself, because it's so large, has a very consistent force.
And that's the thing too, is that they don't understand. They can't wrap their mind about how large the Earth is. They don't understand that. They don't get it. They think they should be able to see 300 miles in a straight line.
If you find a single place in the Earth that's actually flat enough, you would never be able, like, there isn't even a place on Earth that's flat.
You can see, there isn't, yeah. And there's bridges that are long enough that you could see the curvature of the Earth through the bridge.
Yes.
It's like things like that. Like, I don't understand how they can go ahead living their life like this. And then they teach their own family that way. There was a guy in the documentary I saw, he teaches his kids about that. How the Earth is flat, and then there's the ice wall. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. The ice wall. They think there's an ice wall surrounding the Earth, surrounding the disc that is the Earth.
For those that can't see, I have a very confused face.
Yeah, he's very confused. Like he's burrowed frau right now.
Explain.
So they think, since the Earth is flat,
yes, as a containment measure.
I suppose so. Yeah.
So, like, the poles are no longer in a circular format at the bottom. They're now in a line of, like, they're a wall on the perimeter.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different things they believe. So one of them is the North Pole is in the direct center of the disc. So imagine the Earth is flat like a disc.
Okay.
And then, you got all the countries and continents the way they are, but splayed out amongst the disc.
Okay.
Around the edge of the disc is an ice wall.
Huh?
And that's the South Pole, is this ice wall. And then when they're asked, why hasn't anyone taken pictures of this wall? Why haven't ships come back saying, hey, we hit a wall? And they say, oh, it's because the treaty, the North Pole Treaty, the South Pole Treaty, saying that no one's allowed to sail there.
The fuck?
Yeah, they say there's some sort of treaty that does not allow ships to be sailed. It's fucking weird, dude.
Is there like an aircraft carrier in that place that will just kind of shoot on sight if you progress past that?
I don't know. Oh, here's another thing they believe in.
Lay it on me.
When an airplane is flying,
Yes.
why doesn't it ever have to correct its angle? Why doesn't it ever so often always have to dip its nose in order to stay around the Earth? Because if you were to fly in a straight line, you would obviously fly right off the globe and fly off into space. So why don't planes correct their nose and dip down every so often to stay around the curvature of the Earth?
Probably because the curvature is soft enough for that they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't get it.
I don't know. I'm not a pilot. I would love if somebody knows that. Please do enlighten us. Reach us at spaced out whatever the fuck, wherever we're at on this.
Yeah, dude, don't have to because it's constant. It's the gravity. Gravity is constantly pulling them down as they're flying forward.
Correct.
So, like, if you had a nail pegged on the floor and a string out to a model airplane,
right?
If you keep pulling on the string, the plane
is constant.
It's constant around. It keeps getting pulled towards the nail pegged in the ground. You never have to correct the nose
because it's so soft. Like you're not doing a sharp corner.
No, yeah. You know what else they believe?
Send it, Derek. Send it.
They believe that above our disk is something called a firmament. So they think there's an actual bubble, like a glass dome over top of our disk planet. Do you want to know why? Gases need a vacuum. This is their understanding. If you have a jar and it's full of gas, the gas would escape out the open jar. Just like how our air and atmosphere would escape off the Earth. Therefore, there must be a lid. There must be dumb. There must be a lid to hold our air down to the Earth. This is what they believe, dude. Or else the gases would escape.
No. They do not. There's gases all the way up into the high stratosphere, if I'm getting my layering correct. There's very little of them up there, but oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, which is 78% of the quote-unquote air that we breathe, has enough mass that it is pulled by the gravitational force of Earth, here we go with gravity, towards as close to sea level as possible. That's why the atmosphere here is thicker than at altitude.
And then at the top of Mount Everest. Exactly.
Correct.
It just gets thinner as
there
you go
is
up.
an atmosphere. It's just not
very thin. Exactly.
Correct. It is less dense. And gases rise if they're... Oh, my God. Fuck. Oh, my brain. That hurts. Okay. No, they do not. Heat does not rise. Hot air rises because it is less dense than colder air. Therefore, it can climb, technically, from an earthly perspective. So things only escape. Things don't really escape. Like, I don't think we're losing... I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I don't think we're losing our atmosphere.
No, we've lost ozone, but that's because of our own doing down here.
Correct.
But, dude, like, this is what they believe in. They don't believe in space.
What the fuck do you think is a gas giant?
They don't believe in it. They don't believe in space. They think the lights that they see in the sky are just the lights on the firmament. They're just blinking lights. There's no explanation for it. They don't have an explanation for it. They're just lights on the firmament.
Okay, so if I'm piecing this correctly, based on the three things you said, of the Earth is flat, this ice wall, like some Game of Thrones shit, and a dome, but it's essentially we live in a fucking snow globe.
We live in a snow globe at the dollar store.
We
live in a snow globe.
Title?
At the dollar store. We live in a snow... We'll figure that out.
We got to tell Yubi that right away.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
We live in a snow globe at the dollar store.
Yes.
Aisle 4.
Just dollar store. Oh, man. Just as a disclaimer, these are these are not the opinions that Derek and I hold. They're just things that we're reporting on. I definitely don't fucking believe that.
The shit that these people believe with the information on hand that they can get, that they watch and read and they just dismiss.
Like, and every time that there's either a video or a launch or a photo, and the same, like the answer is always consistently the same. It's faked. It's faked. It's faked.
Oh, they think the space shuttle is a big helium balloon.
Helium. Interesting.
Yeah.
Space shuttle. Wow. Wow.
What else?
That's painful. That's really painful.
What else do they think? Yeah, they think that's a big.
What did they think of the International Space Station? Not our space station.
It's a balloon.
It's a balloon.
It's a balloon.
And they're somehow defying gravity in their balloon.
Yeah, bud. The space station is a balloon. Because they know you can see it. They know that.
You can see it every 90 minutes.
Yeah. They say it's a balloon. Oh, they also say the sun and the moon aren't as large or as far away as you've been told. They think... Let me draw this out for you, Dom, so you can see it. So let's say this is the disk of our flat Earth.
Pandora.
Okay? They think the sun and the moon rotate around the surface.
Huh?
Around the surface of the disk. So they're not that far. Do you want to know why they know the moon and sun are not that far?
Okay.
Because you can look at it. You can see it's not that far. It's right there. So they think it's not that far.
That is fucked.
Yeah, they're like, you can feel the sun's heat. So it obviously can't be the 3 billion miles away it is. It's right there.
That is painful. That is painful. I just have so many questions.
So they think the moon and the sun hover over top of our
snow globe,
flat disk snow globe, and then they just do circles around the flat disk. And here's the kicker. Wherever the sun is over top, it's daytime. Wherever the moon is over top, it's nighttime.
Even though the moonlight is a reflection of the sun.
Yeah. But the best part is, if you think about it, if the sun was over top the flat disk, the entire disk would be illuminated.
Not
because
only that,
the light
there
goes
would be
out.
no shadows if it was directly overhead.
So the light goes out in all directions.
Equally.
Yeah. So the whole disk should be illuminated. But in all the diagrams they show, the sun's light comes straight down like a spotlight. Because these people are geniuses.
They got their kids doing their art.
So wherever the sun is, over top the disk is day, and wherever the moon is, it's night.
Incorrect.
How amazing is that?
It's not. Yeah, I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life. The sun, which is also the really, really nice fusion reactor.
It is. Converts hydrogen into helium.
Yes. And everything you've ever touched that isn't, up until iron in the periodic table has been formed in a supernova of a star.
Well, we have been formed in the supernova of a star.
Correct.
Because we are stardust.
You are stardust.
Everything you're made up of
was made in a star.
Was made from a star.
A dying
All the
star.
hydrogen that has been created in the universe has come from a dying star.
Yep.
So the hydrogen
and the heavier elements
turn into heavier elements that turn to the earth, that turn into us.
Yep.
You are stardust, my friend. That's why why can't people have that fucking connection to the universe? Like, I understand that, and I have this appreciation
of it,
of everything, the
even
universe, Earth,
and so
the
do
simple things.
Even though I'm so ignorant to it, right? Like, there's so much I don't know. Like, I'm only kind of scratching the surface with the things that I know about it. but I just find it so fascinating, and I want to learn it all.
I know.
And it's so cool. And like, I want to get into, I don't have the money, but I've been wanting to get into astrology for a long time because I think it's the neatest things. It's the neatest things to look at planets.
I dropped my pen. Hold on a second. Gravity just took force there for a second.
Oh man, did it? What?
Oh my God. I had a struggle to pick that up from the gravity.
You have to offset the force. When I was a kid, we were at some camp, and there was one of the adults. He had a telescope, and he was letting us kids look at it. And he had it like, this was a big fucker, and he had it dialed in to look at which one's got the rings? Saturn.
Yeah,
Saturn. We were looking at the rings of Saturn, and like, it was so crisp that you could see the differences in the rings. Like, they weren't extremely noticeable, but they were noticeable enough that you could see that there's, like, he just had it so dialed in. And must have been close enough. I don't know anything about astrology. I'm a complete moron. I'm an idiot. But I saw that, and you could see detail, and it was wicked. And that is a very fond memory in science in my mind, because I got to see another planet in as good of a detail as you can from here, I suppose, without having multi-million-dollar equipment.
You know what? I did the same thing. Guess what? I have a telescope, and I did exactly the same thing. I honed it in on what I thought was just like a star because it looked pretty bright, and got it all dialed in, and then I realized it was Saturn, and I can see the rings and everything.
That's sick, dude.
From my backyard.
Planets are wicked.
I couldn't believe it.
Oh man, I love that shit.
I gotta see if I still have that. I gotta see if I still have that telescope.
Dude, you gotta bring that shit out.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I really want to at least to screw around with it because I think it's the neatest things, and I'm so ignorant to it. I'm just so stupid. I don't know anything about quote-unquote space. Well, I know some things, but I don't know that much. And I don't know that much in the depth of any particular one topic. But I just find it so fascinating. And I just don't understand how you can rule it out as A, nonsense, or B, something to never be inquisitive about. It's such a cool thing. The fact that you and I might live at the time that somebody actually goes to Mars.
That's intense.
Like, how do we have that split in our society where we have people that are literally working on that shit right now? Like, right now they're working on that shit. And then on the other side of the board, you have people that don't even think the Earth is a planet.
It's
like,
nuts.
how do we get that discrepancy? How does that come to be? I do not know, and I want that answer.
It's, I don't know. Like I said before, it's willful ignorance. People choose to be ignorant of this stuff. I don't understand it. I don't know why they choose to do that. I'm the same as you. Like, I'm excited to learn about this stuff. I look forward to it. I will do the research myself. If I have a question about something, I'll be like, oh, I need to know how that works, and I'll find out. Like, I have books on quantum physics that I read for fun.
You do. You've told me
what
that.
I mean? Like, I have here. I wrote it down real quick because I thought maybe I'd mention it. So if you want to look for some good books, these are all physicists here that I'm reading out, except for Neil deGrasse Tyson is a astrophysicist. So Brian Greene, Michio Kaku, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yep.
Neil deGrasse Tyson actually has a really good book. It's what's it called? Let me look it up real quick because he explains how the universe. Oh, my phone just froze. You want to Google that?
Yeah.
Google Neil deGrasse
I'll find it.
Just book.
Yeah.
And I'll show you what it looks like. But the way he writes it, he's explaining complicated things about how our world works and how the universe works, but he's saying it in a way that makes it understandable.
Well, I think that's
something like the pocket book to the universe.
But okay, so let's push back on that. Is where do you find a baseline to draw? I'll find. Or I guess I'll talk. You find it.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you find the baseline of science to be able to convey this level of information to somebody that isn't scientifically literate or doesn't? If they are literate, they don't have huge knowledge of this particular area. So people like him writing a book that it can.
I got it.
What is it?
Astrophysics for people in a hurry. So it's not overly long. It's not a long book or anything like that. It's a few hundred pages, maybe 300, something like that. And the way he explains things, how the universe works, how planetary systems work and stuff like that, like the way he explains it is in like layman's terms so everyone could understand.
Yep.
I think that's a great starting point.
I think so too.
Before you get into like the deep shit like gluons and quarks and leptons, which is the other thing that blows my mind too when people think like they take everything for surface value. So they look at something. I'm looking at Dom right now. Okay, Dom's a person. Okay, let's take it down a notch. Dom is made up of cells. Okay, go smaller.
Atoms.
What are the cells made of? Atoms. Okay, people usually stop at atoms. You got to think atoms are also made up of things.
Neutrons, protons, and electrons.
Exactly. Okay, now guess what? Something's got to make those things up too.
Quarks,
leptons, gluons. Right? Guess what? Something's got to make something up of that too. So it goes smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to the end, which is we're all just vibrations, man. We're all just little packets of quanta. We're just vibrating, man.
Derek's holding this like his
Buddha stance.
Yeah, his hands out, and like he's got this beard going with it. It's just the flow.
Dude, I think I've just, you know what? I am Siddhartha. I just reached enlightenment. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too. You feel enlightened about your universe and your surroundings. Like you understand things better.
Cool.
And I think that's what gives me the appreciation for nature and stuff like that.
Yep.
Why I like to be in the woods, why I like camping. It's just I appreciate all that stuff.
Well, like I look at it and it's just I just have so many questions.
Like even water, you look at water, a lake, a pond, whatever. That's literally a puddle of H2O molecules.
Yes.
Okay, think about that. It's just you have one H2O molecule. Okay, now if you had billions, what would it be? Billions would probably be a tablespoon of water.
Yeah.
You know, you get enough of them together, that's how they coalesce. They coalesce into this liquid form.
Yep.
That's what I think. Like,
and they're both gases on their own.
It's amazing.
They're both gases on their own.
I love this stuff.
I love this stuff too. Salt. Sodium
Chloride.
Sodium, which is a soft metal that doesn't like to be in the presence of
water
because it explodes and catches fire.
I wonder if people know that.
I don't think they do. Pure sodium is very rare.
Yeah.
But it will explode in the presence of water. It will explode in the presence of atmospheric water, meaning the water that's in the air is high enough to make it react violently. So that's sodium. Then you have chloride, which is chlorine gas, which is again rarely found in its pure form in nature, which is the deadliest natural. Correct me if this is wrong. It's the deadliest natural occurring gas. So you have two fucked up substances that don't really occur in nature, but when you mix them together in a 2-to-1 ratio,
it makes your food tasty.
It is an item that has 4,000 known uses, one of the foundations of our civilization, and one of the foundations of our bodies.
And was once used as currency.
That's what I mean by one of the foundations of our civilizations. Not worth your salt. That's where that phrase came from, because that was the currency. But awesome. It is something that's like it's fucked on their own, but you put them together, and all of a sudden the world changes. Like my mind is just blown by that, because that makes zero sense. Zero sense.
And the thing is, though, is that no one cares about that. They only care about the next thing that Kim Kardashian tweets or posts on Instagram. Like, that's the only thing people... But I think it's done on purpose. I think...
It's junk food.
It's made
junk
food
for
to
the
keep
mind.
people stupid.
Of course it is.
All this social media, and all this
you ask
entertainment on TV and stuff, just keep people stupid. And then you can get them to do whatever you want.
Keeps making the sales, profit keep going up, content keeps being consumed.
It's crazy. I wish people just had more knowledge of this stuff, more appreciation,
more curiosity. Because if you're curious, you can get to knowledge.
Yeah.
You can get to a lot of knowledge if you're curious, but which is I think is a better place than just being knowledgeable. Because if you're knowledgeable, you have that's your finite. But if you're curious, you're going to keep gathering it.
And you're only going to gather in more intelligence. You're just going to get smarter. You're going to know more. You know, the less it's true though, because the less curious you are, the less you're going to learn. And the less your mind's just going to deteriorate and turn to mush.
I think that's a direct... I wonder if you can directly correlate the level of curiosity and the level of kind of knowledge gathering to your satisfaction as a human being. I bet you they're correlated. They'd have to be. Think about it. Like, your life gets better with the more that you know, and the more that you can absorb, and the more that you can relate to, and the more things that you can question and find an answer to. Like, your life gets better with that. So if you don't have that, can you correlate that to having a negative experience as a human? I wonder.
100%. You turn sedentary in mind and in life.
True.
Right? Because if you're gonna learn, you're gonna grow, you're gonna expand outwards. You're gonna, right? If you don't, you're gonna shrink, you're gonna shrivel, you're gonna remain sedentary. It'll just be a bump on your couch.
I'm thankful I'm not that. I
just wish I had more time in order to
do more of this shit.
Do more of this.
Yep. Yeah, it's just different priorities, right? Like, people would just rather prioritize with watching TV. I'd rather prioritize, like, I love agriculture. I love it. Even though I don't partake in it as a lifestyle. But I learn a lot. Like, I would rather watch a vlogger, and I do, that, like, there's different farmers that I follow around the world that are vloggers, and they vlog their life, their activities, what they do, their equipment, their field, like, that's their lifestyle. And I learn from that. I learn from that because I like it. I don't learn shit from watching a TV show. People are like, what the one with the fucking tigers? Tiger King.
Okay, you know what? That's a guilty pleasure. I watched Tiger King, and that was just like...
I don't have guilty pleasures like that. I really don't. Or people... Well, like 3 months ago, there was nothing to do but sit home and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, man, like, I'm watching all this other cool shit. I have no idea why the fuck you're watching any of this. And in a conversation that I was having with some friends on Zoom, everybody was talking about TV shows, and somebody's like, Dom, you're really quiet. And I'm like, I don't have anything to fucking contribute.
Yeah.
Like, I don't partake in any of this. Like, what do you want me to say? Oh, I was watching a farmer from Minnesota. Yeah, that's interesting. It is to me.
Yeah.
So I think it's completely down on the information that you want to prioritize of consumption. I want to consume things that are interesting to me. I want to know things. Yes, I have particular fields of interests. Some are higher priority than others, but it's like I have that level of curiosity. You gotta have that, and I value that in people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, man, but I value that. Like, what level of curiosity do you have? Because if you don't have one, we're not gonna vibe. I don't know if you've ever come across that, but that's how I roll.
Yeah. No, for real though.
Derek, I think we're at an hour. We should remind people that...
You gotta be kidding me already?
Yep. We should remind people that in August, we're going to be starting our Patreon. If you would be so kind to donate to our channel, we are trying to raise $500 for...
tummy tuck.
Which neither one of us needs.
Brazilian butt lift. No. Highlights in my hair. No,
I cut mine.
You did cut yours. You look like you were just enlisted in World War II there with that haircut.
Yeah, somebody.
You look like Steve Rogers.
I'm Captain America. Fuck yeah. We're looking for 2 microphones. We're gonna be
and a new audio interface.
So that would be roughly $500, and so we can have guests on because we want to hear not only our voices.
But other people's too.
On
what they think about the firmament and the ice wall. Fuck's sakes.
First question on the podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to Spaced Out.
Are you a flat earther?
Yeah. Do you think we live in a fucking snow globe? Anyway, yeah. So that's going to be opening up in August. If you could, we would really appreciate donations to our podcast. We'd like to thank the people that have been listening to us. It
All
means-
27 of you.
yeah, that one guy in Morocco or Brazil, whatever.
We got one each in Morocco and Brazil and
We
Turkey
are
and
popular in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
We are not
That's
popular.
not how they speak there.
Nor are we popular. We just got
5 random.
people, creepers, fucking weirdos. Anyway, we'll see you guys.
On the flip side
Of the
flat earth. Son of a bitch.